Okay, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Roger Brownell, and today we're going to do jambalaya. Now, I don't know, some of you may have known, I used to have a Cajun Creole seafood restaurant up in Baldwin, Michigan. And then we also, I moved on and built one up in Traverse City, Michigan, right on Grand Traverse Bay. Cajun is something I learned down in South Texas and along the coast. I fell in love with it. Cajun food is delicious. I've known a few Cajuns over on Florida, and I've got to know, and I love the cuisine. Now, one thing you'll find out is if it ain't got cayenne pepper in it, it ain't Cajun. I found that out a long time ago. But without further ado, we're going to get on with this, and let's make jambalaya. Now this time I'm going to do it a little different than I did in the restaurant. In the restaurant I did it by boiling rice up in a separate pot and then mixing all the ingredients in later. This time we're going to do it in an electric skillet, the same way I do my Spanish rice. Only we're going to make it Cajun. Okay, here we have just about everything we're going to need to make our jambalaya with, including I'm going to put some of these Rotel chilies with green chilies and tomatoes, and I got diced tomatoes. I've got my tomato sauce, a little cornstarch here to thicken the sauce that's going to go on the top. I've got bell peppers, onions, shrimp, sausage, and my Louisiana crab boil, crawfish and shrimp boil, that I'm going to cook my shrimp in, and I might even add some chicken, and if I do, I'm going to also cook that in the crab boil. So let's get started. Okay, before I go too much further with this jambalaya mix, I want to explain. I've got another video coming out on how I boil my shrimp. I boil my shrimp up and some stuff. It's called the Louisiana fish fry product, and it's a crab and crawfish boil, shrimp, crab, and crawfish boil. Check that video because I'm going to put shrimp in this recipe. It'll help you out. Okay, I'm going to do my jambalaya in my electric skillet. Normally, I used to do this. I'd boil the rice up in a stock pot, but I'm going to go this route because this is the way I make my Spanish rice as well. So I've plugged my electric skillet in. I've got it turned up to, I don't know, 300 to 350 degrees. Now the first thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to put in a little olive oil. And the reason I use olive oil in here, I want to kind of toast my rice just a little bit. Okay? So we're going to jump in our rice. And get that mixing around in there and coated well. Now we don't want this rice to burn, so we want to keep it moving around pretty good a little bit. And when it starts to get just toasted just a little, then you start seeing some tan in there, then we're going to start adding our other ingredients. Now, like I said before, our other ingredients include tomatoes, tomato sauce, onions, peppers, all kinds of things. So I'm going to turn this off for now until this gets up and heated up and my rice is starting to toast a little bit. Okay, my rice is starting to toast a little bit. I'm seeing a few tan kernels in there. At this point, I'm going to put some of these onions in there. Get my onions in there as well and get them mixed around in there. Now I'm going to put in my Rotel tomatoes. Get those mixed around in there. Now I'm going to add my diced tomatoes. Okay, this is looking good. At this point, I've got 3 chicken bouillon cubes. I'm going to kind of crumble and mash around in there. 3 of them. For the flavor. Now I'm going to add just about 2 cups of water. Okay, get that stirred around good and get it mixed good. Now it's time to cover it and let it come to a boil. And then we'll stir in more ingredients. Okay, as you can see, I'm getting a pretty good little boil here. Let's stir this around. You got to keep stirring because you don't want any of this to stick and burn to the bottom of your pan. At this point, I'm going to add, I've already diced up some bell peppers. I'm going to put those in there. Now, bell peppers isn't necessary for jambalaya, but I like bell peppers in my jambalaya. Now, another thing we're going to be adding right in here is our tomato sauce. Okay, we got our tomato sauce here. We're going to dump our tomato sauce in. Now, we may add more tomato sauce, but we're going to start with this, what is it? 345 grams, whatever that is. And stir that around in there. Okay, yeah. Now, without cayenne pepper, it's not Cajun. So we're going to sprinkle some cayenne in here. Not a lot, because cayenne pepper is a pretty hot pepper. But it's one of the healthiest peppers there is. Stir that in a little bit. Oh yeah. Now, I'm going to add, and I've already cut up my sausage and diced my ham. As you can see, nice little diced ham and my sausage. We're going to add that in there. Oh yeah, get that stirred around good. Now I'm also going to add my shrimp. Now I cooked up some shrimp the other day and we're going to add that in there. We want shrimp in our jambalaya. Oh yeah. Get that stirred around good. Now we're going to cover this up again and let it come to a boil again. But you got to remember to go in and keep stirring this, because you don't want it to stick to the bottom of your skillet. Okay, this has been cooking for about 10 minutes, I believe. I've gone in here and stirred it a few times to make sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom. So what we're going to do now, because the rice, the trick is getting the rice on. When that rice is completely cooked, that'll tell you about how when your stuff is about done. Okay, let's check our rice here a little bit. because I think it's about time to turn it down and just let it set and simmer for a while. Okay, our rice has got a ways to go yet. So now I'm going to leave the lid off so I can evaporate some of this extra moisture off, as well as get that rice cooked and those green peppers and onions cooked a little better. We're going to leave that off in there for just a little while and keep stirring it. It's coming. Okay, I've let this cook for probably another 5 or 6 minutes or so. And you can see that the rice is getting done. It's starting to thicken up some. So at this point, I'm going to turn the heat down on it and cover it so it can just, okay, I'm going to turn that down below 200 so it'll stop boiling. And I'm going to cover it so the rice and everything can absorb more of the moisture that's in there. Cover that baby up and let her set for a little while. We'll come back here in a few minutes and see how we're doing. But like I said, I've turned it down to under 200 degrees. And the boiling is slowing down, but it's still heating, and the rice is still absorbing the moisture, and it's getting thicker. So we'll come back in a little bit here and see how things go. We'll taste it and see if it needs more seasoning. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. Let's see what we've got going here. Oh yeah, it's thickening up real nice. Oh yeah. This is what we're looking for. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just cover this up and turn off the heat entirely and let it absorb its own juices and flavors. And wait a minute here, I want to test this to see if we need more seasoning. Could use a little salt. And we're going to put a little pepper in there. And because I like cayenne, and I like mine a little hotter, I'm going to add some more cayenne to it. There, that ought to be sufficient. Get that stirred around in there. Mixed in there good. Oh, this is looking and smelling real good. Oh, that looks good. Okay, I'm going to cover this up and turn the heat off and just let it set. And we'll be back and test it when it's done. Okay, there you have it. Oh, that looks nice. That looks right. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah. Oh, good. Some really good looking jambalaya. That's the way a plate of jambalaya should look. Okay, here we have some really good looking jambalaya. Now, we're going to add some of our Creole sauce over the top of it. Oh yes. Just a little, we're not a lot. Oh yeah. There you have it. Cajun jambalaya. with Creole sauce over the top. Okay, there you have it. My Cajun, my style jambalaya. Now I wanted to explain, I want this clear up front. There's really no right or wrong way to make jambalaya. Jambalaya is a more or less a tomato rice dish, and you can add what you want to. Me, I like to put sausage and chunked ham, shrimp. Oh, shrimp, yes. I would definitely put shrimp in it. But you can use chicken, you can use fish, you can use just about anything you want to in there. I also like to have my bell peppers in there. It's not necessary, but I like it that way. So now, for my favorite part. Test it. Boy, does that bring back memories. This stuff is good. If you like it hot and spicy, add a little more cayenne. Season it pretty much to your taste. But you're going to need cayenne pepper in it anyway for the flavor. But how much you put in depends on how hot you want your jambalaya. Also a little salt because you've got tomatoes in there. And probably a little black pepper if you'd like. But other than that, the ingredients themselves pretty much season it the way to make it good. And you don't need the Creole sauce on the top of it, but what the heck. I like the Creole sauce too. And the Creole sauce you can use on other dishes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a separate video on how to make the Creole sauce. And I'll put a link on it to this video here. So, for my kitchen years, I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to eat some jambalaya. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, punch the little subscribe button down at the bottom and share it with your friends. And until the next time, so long.